Hey VC, Happy New Year. Pretty green vinyl guy here, Edwin. And first video of 2019. Look at me getting off to a fast start. Got my new Sex Pistols t-shirt on. So yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. And cheers. So, the vinyl journey continues in 2019. And I had some success over the holidays. My wife and I had a very simple Christmas and a super simple New Year's. For Christmas, we went over to Vancouver. I live on Vancouver Island, and my daughter is a dancer in Vancouver. She's a ballet dancer, and she's going to an academy right now to hopefully get a job on a cruise ship or at Disney or something like that. So. But she also works part-time at Starbucks, and of course she got a lot of hours at Christmas, and my wife and I were off for 4 days, so we said, you know what, we'll come to you. So her roommates were away, and she lives right in downtown Vancouver, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of an urban Christmas. We did Christmas stuff in Vancouver. We went on the train ride through Stanley Park, and we went to the Christmas market with all the goods from Germany, and we had a great time. And it's awesome because I like to run, and my daughter, she lives about a block from the seawall, so I got a lot of running in, which was good because I was busy up until Christmas. And yeah, and for New Year's, we just laid low. But I took my daughter to the dark side. I bought her a little turntable for Christmas. And of course, on Boxing Day, we had to go record shopping. I don't think my wife was too impressed, but anyway, it worked to my benefit. So yeah, we had a couple of record shops in and around the Vancouver area on Boxing Day, and there were a couple of deals to be found. I know some people on the VC have talked about Backstreet Records before on, what is that, on West Hastings? And they had 20% off of everything. They had some new albums 50% off. And yeah, so anyway, I missed out on Record Store Day this year, and there was a few things that I wanted to pick up, and one of them was the Iggy Pop and the Stooges. This is the Rare Power, which is the outtakes from Raw Power, and yeah, this is good. I listened to it yesterday, actually, for the first time. I haven't even taken a shrink off yet, which I always do, but I wanted to cut out these hype stickers first. And yeah, totally enjoyable first listen. For a record day record, it seems like it's well pressed. It's got a nice innard with picture of the Stooges. And what label is that? I don't know. Some brown, some beige tan label. There you go. Anyway, that was one I wanted to pick up. Another one I wanted to get was the Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. I never had this on vinyl, and I noticed on Record Store Day, I was actually surprised to find this because I didn't think there'd be any left. But this is a really nice picture disc. With the original vinyl artwork as the picture disc. And I also played this yesterday for the first time, and it sounds really good. You know, picture discs, I think, can be kind of hit and miss. But this is a wonderful album. I mean, of course, I have it digitally, and it's an album I'm familiar with. My father, I think, had it in his collection, so I do remember. But just a wonderful pop 60s album. I see the Zombies made it into the Hall of Fame, so congrats, Zombies. Whatever you think of the Hall of Fame, it's cool that they got in. And this was the last, this was actually from Record Store Day a year ago. And you might have recalled, I showed on a previous video, I had bought, I had money on credit at my local record store, and he had Bastards and Ballers, because these weren't cheap, Tom Waits. So I was missing Brawlers, and I got this on Boxing Day too. again with the 20% off. So that wasn't, that made it kind of a bit affordable. I think this was the most popular of the three from the Orphan series. It's the most upbeat, I guess you could say, of the three albums. And yeah, it's a good listen. I'm gonna do a Tom Waits video now. I think I'm only missing, I think, 2 records, and one of them you can only get it new anyway because it came out in the 90s. And yeah, I gotta look, but yeah, I'm gonna do a Tom Waits video. Someone I've been getting into more and more, and I just really knew, you know, the stuff from, you know, his voice more than anything, and that's Randy Newman. And this is Sail Away, which many feel is his best album. Gatefold with the lyrics. That's actually how the front of the album goes, with the writing perpendicular. And I think label-wise, it's on Reprise or Reprise. Vinyl's in beautiful shape. Album's got a little bit of ring wear. Really, really good album. I love Sail Away, Lonely at the Top. And this is also where You Can Leave Your Hat On, the Joe Cocker song from 9.5 Weeks, was originally a Randy Newman song, and that's on side 2 of this album. So yeah, if you don't have any Randy Newman, totally recommend him. That's, I think, the 3rd album I've sort of added to my collection in recent months, and excellent album. Next up, we have which many feel is his best album solo. This is Bryan Ferry. Of course, like most Bryan Ferry solo albums, this is an album of covers. Of course, he loves to cover Dylan, so Hard Rain's Gonna Fall is on here. Piece of My Heart from Janis Joplin. It's My Party. Don't Worry Baby, Brian Wilson. Sympathy for the Devil. Tracks of My Tears, Smokey Robinson. You Won't See Me, The Beatles. Loving You Is Sweeter Than Ever, which is a Stevie Wonder song. And These Foolish Things Remind Me of You. So yeah, this is a solo Bryan Ferry from Roxy Music. This is on that nice Atlantic label. Overall in pretty good condition. Something like $8 on sale, so that's, can't really go wrong with that. And yeah, it's got a real 50s feel to the cover. So yeah, Bryan Ferry. An album that I had missed, and as many of you know, I'm a huge fan of Oasis and Noel, but I missed his second album, and I've been trying to find it, and I think they don't make it anymore, because it became very difficult to track this down. And so this is Chasing Yesterday. This had the Riverman song on it. This is also a gatefold. And you know, it's not, I do have it on it as a digital download. It's not his best album, let's just put it that way, but it's still a very decent album. And you know, I love Noel. I met him on the train this summer. I don't know if I showed that picture. My wife and I were traveling from Rennes in France to Paris this summer, and I didn't realize that he was playing there the night before. I'm such an idiot. Because I follow him on Twitter, and I didn't even notice, because my wife and I had been up in Normandy. Not that I would change that for the world. We had an amazing couple of days up there visiting the battlefields and all of that. And yeah, I get on the train, and I'm just putting my wife's bag in the overhead bin, and I turn, and Noel Gallagher's like this far from my face, and I just said something stupid like, "How are you doing?" Anyway, it turned out we were at the front of the train, and Noel and his missus were on one side of the aisle, and me and my missus were on the other side. So we were literally across the aisle, and I initially tried to make a little bit of small talk, but he's having nothing of it. And anyway, in front of me was a clock that was counting down the time to get to Paris. And we're down to like the last 5 minutes, and I nudged my wife and I said, do you think I should ask him for a picture? And my wife looks at the clock and she's like, well, you better do it quick because we're coming into the station. So anyway, I waited actually till the train stopped and everyone ahead of us was starting to file off. And I sort of put my hand out. Hey, really great to meet you. Do you mind if I get a photo? And I don't know that he was too crazy to get the photo, but his wife said, yeah, he'll get his photo taken. And yeah, so I'll show it. It's on my phone, but I'll show it either in a thumbnail or on a different video. But anyway, that's my Noel Gallagher story. A new album. Just slowly building my punk. Actually, I'm gonna leave this in the plastic. It's might be a pain to get back in. Descendants. Slowly building my punk collection. I was trying to get all originals, but this one's proven really difficult, and I really wanted to get it. This is just a classic, I guess, California punk. I think they're from California. And Vinyl Rich, he'll let us know. Anyway, yeah, The Descendants. Just super pumped to get that. It was something I've been waiting to get for a long time. So now I got a couple of grails. And these two are fantastic. They're in, the vinyl's in great condition in both of them, like really, really good. But there's a little bit of water damage more on one of them than the other. They're both Kinks albums. So this is Arthur, or what is it? Or The Decline and Fall of the British Empire. This had Victoria on it. This is a gatefold on Pie, that lovely light blue label. Victoria. This one's in stereo, but it is an original Canadian pressing. It's got the Queen Victoria inner with the lyrics on the back, so really super cool to have that. It is a gatefold. And there's the water damage. So it's not terrible. I mean, from the front, it's pristine. And like I said, the vinyl is perfect. And, you know, you just don't find these original Kinks albums. You know, it's always the greatest hits. It's always whatever. So to find both of these, I was super pumped. Anyway, that's Arthur, or The Decline and Fall of the British Empire. And the next one I found was Face to Face. The water damage on this one is not quite as bad, just that little bit around the edges, but not bad at all. Again, the front cover is really decent. I mean, this is a 50-year-old album. This is also a Canadian original pressing. This one's in mono. And this is also on the Pie, but this one's on the red label, being the mono. Or is that going that way? And it's just, the vinyl is just beautiful. Look at that. It's a 50-year-old record, boys and girls. And, no inners or anything in this one, and obviously not the original paper. But, yeah, so I was super pumped to find that. Slowly, again, filling in those holes of the Kinks. You know, probably one of the most underrated bands of all time. As in, you know, people always talk about those four guys behind me, and the Stones, and the Who, and whoever else. But, you know, the Kinks were a formidable force. Sorry, I just don't want that to fall. And, yeah, super happy to have those. And then my last find, I was paying at the till, as you do, and you look up, and there's the wall of all the amazing things. And kind of tucked in the back, I can see this. This is the first 7 albums of Roxy music. In this nice box. I've already taken them out so I can show you. And I said to the guy, can I see your box set? Now this store does a lot of online selling. And he's like, yeah. He goes, yeah, he goes, I kind of forgot that was there because it was kind of tucked in. I could just see the burgundy and a little bit of the gold embossed. And I was like, you know, that looks interesting, right? So he kind of pulls it out and he goes, yeah, I've had this for a while. He goes, had some interest online, but it's so heavy to ship that no one wanted to pay the shipping. And he had $140 on it. And I ended up getting it for $80, which I thought was really decent. The box has that little dent in the front, but the vinyls are all brand new. I think this was played once and then probably put away and never played again. So you get the first 7 albums. And it's funny because I wanted to get this because there's the new box set out on the first album, Roxy Music, Roxy Music. This is the German box set. So these are all pressed in Germany. So the sound is exquisite. All to the original. So this is the original gatefold. Look how cool those guys look, man. There's Eno. There's Ferry. Brilliant. Manzanera. Yeah, so they sound great. Doesn't have Virginia Plain on it because it's the European pressing. That was only on the US pressing. So I got to find the single to properly fill this. There's the second album, which is For Your Pleasure. Look at that shot. I mean, this is like 1972, I believe. Look at Bryan Ferry. How freaking cool. Look how cool those guys looked. Look at this guy. Look at that style. Just wonderful. And of course, you know, Ferry liked to direct the album covers. This is, I forget her name, but she became the muse of Salvador Dali, I believe. Amanda someone. And Do the Strand was the single off of that. This is Stranded, the third album. Gatefold. This is Wildlife with the famous cover. This is Siren. This had Love is the Drug on it. This is, oh, what the heck? Mrs. Mick Jagger. Oh, darn it all. That's embarrassing. Can't think of her name right now. Texas Model. Someone will yell it for me. Who knows the answer? Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue there. Anyway, that's Sirens. And then a lot of people think the two kind of dogs of the collection, Manifesto and Flesh and Blood. But you know, I mean, I probably wouldn't have bought these by themselves, but the fact that I got the whole set, I'm super pumped about that. As far as the actual vinyl, they're all the same. They're all on this really cool Polydor with the inner black circle. You can see these are like brand new. So super chuffed to get that. I know that there was a first 8 albums when Avalon came out. They redid this set. But I'm happy with this. I've got Avalon separate, of course. And I did have Wildlife. Some of these, like, I can't find this. Oh, Jerry Hall. Hey, I win. Sirens you can never find. You know, and if you do, they're expensive. I've never seen this in the wild. So to get them all together, you know, from, you know, an original box set that came out in the late 70s. There's a little card. No picture book or anything. That's all you get. But yeah, so that's the start of my year. And hopefully there'll be many more of these videos. I'm going to try, my New Year resolution for the vinyl community is to try and be a little more consistent. Try and build the channel up. Try and show interesting things that are a little bit more obscure. And yeah, be a little bit more interactive with everyone. I do watch a lot of videos. I don't always get time to comment. And I see right now that the, what's it called? The 2009 vinyl tag is going around, so I want to jump on that. So hopefully I'll get that done. I did get a couple of jazz albums, but I'm going to wait to build that up to get to 10 or 12. And yeah, that's my story so far. So Happy New Year to everybody. Cheers from Canada. I was going to do a room tour. I've actually, you can notice a few things have been cleaned up and changed. I got some new shelves up. This is a picture that my wife actually bought me for Christmas about 7 or 8 years ago. And it was in our family room. And I thought, I'm the one that likes it, so I'm going to put it up in my room. So I got that up. I got a guitar that's signed by Motorhead. I got that up. So I'm going to do a bit of a room tour. Show you the system. You might have noticed too, I've added pieces. I changed my speakers. So yeah, we'll get into that in another video. Anyway, thanks very much. Happy New Year and best of luck to everybody. Cheers.